heartfelt condolences to the families affected by the recent boat accident.
Hello and a warm welcome to Network News. We are live in Abuja. Adiola Kamiakere is joining me from Lagos for the latest news from that axis. And Benny Adams is on business news. Bade Adele will bring us trending news in the sports world. Remember, you can watch this newscast live on the go on all our social media platforms displayed on your screen. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu assents to the Nigerian Insurance Industry Reform Bill, a legislature which aims to strengthen Nigeria's financial sector and accelerate the nation's march towards a $1 trillion economy. The new act provides for comprehensive regulations and supervision of all insurance and reinsurance businesses operating within Nigeria, a development which reaffirms President Tinubu's administration's commitment to financial stability, economic development, and inclusive growth. The NERA Act 2025 is expected to usher in a new era of transparency, innovation, global competitiveness for the insurance industry as part of the renewed hope agenda for the insurance sector. The Act introduces critical measures such as stringent capital requirements to ensure financial soundness of operators, enforcement of compulsory insurance policies to enhance consumer protection, digitization of the insurance market to improve access and efficiency, as well as the entrenchment of zero tolerance for delays in claims settlement. Meanwhile, the 7th expanded National Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Clinic has been launched in Akure, Ondo State, aimed at boosting financial inclusion and economic activities. Vice President Kashim Shettima at the inauguration announced disbursement of 250,000 naira unconditional grants each to outstanding business owners in Ondo State as part of ongoing efforts to empower micro, small and medium enterprises across the country. Held at the International Culture and Events Center, Alabaka. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila tells us more.
Vice President Kashim Shettima arrived at the Akure International Airport, welcomed by the state governor, Lucky Ayedetiwa, and his Ekiti state counterpart, Biodun Oyebanji. Inspection of exhibition stands showcasing the state's owned business opportunities to encourage self-empowerment and reliance for sustainable growth. Then an encouraging moment came, an unconditional grant of 250,000 naira to each of the exhibition stand announced.
I implore you, do not make today a one-off gesture. Let this be the beginning of a long and fruitful engagement with our MSMEs. Follow up, support them, work the road with them, be the wind beneath their wings. I must thank the government of Ondo State for its partnership and foresight. Your investments in infrastructure, your commitment to policies that welcome innovation and enterprise, and your support for local industry are commendable. They align perfectly with the federal government's broader agenda for a prosperous, inclusive economy.
Themed Ondo 2025, the clinic aims to promote and support micro, small and medium enterprises as part of the federal government's strategy for economic growth and grassroots empowerment under the Renewed Hope agenda.
Our SMEs have also benefited from the entrepreneurial training program for micro, small and medium enterprises by the Development Bank of Nigeria, equipping them with essential skills and knowledge to grow their businesses beyond the shores of this country.
But since President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came on board, and with this SMEs clinic, there is a deliberate attempt to align growth with development in the country. And I sat down there watching the testimonials by people that didn't know anybody being touched by this clinic.
It's very important when you sit to eat, what is the percentage of what you are eating made in our country?
We have not been disappointed. The agency heads that are here, we've been going around. with the agency is interacting with the different MSMEs. Everyone is happy with what has been done.
The expanded clinic brought key regulatory agencies together to address MSME challenges, offering opportunities for business exhibitions, on-site investments, and development across 5 key areas of funding, skills, infrastructure, market access, and technology. From Akure, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
While in Akure, Vice President Kashim Shettima has called on the traditional institution to support the present administration economic reforms that are geared towards revitalizing the lives of Nigerians, especially in the rural communities. He made the call when he met the Ondo State Traditional Rulers Council. Again, let's take a listen to Abdurrahman Jibrila's report.
This is the Ondo State Secretariat of Obas. Vice President Kashim Shettima here to pay homage, seeking support for the Tinubu administration to actualize the renewed hope agenda.
The president holds the traditional institution in the highest esteem. He's one of you. He cherishes his relationship with you. His famous name is Jagaba. Jagaba. That boss is short. And Jagaba is a title he got from Borgu in northern Nigeria. That shows his pan-Nigerian credentials. The economy has turned the corner. When we assume the mantle of leadership, to borrow his own words, the economy was under the weather. But he's a man of courage and conviction. And I want to convey to you a message from the president. He's feeling the pains of what Nigerians are going through. But no matter how long the rain is, no matter how long the night is, it will give way to the light of the dawn.
That they came out, all of them, they agree with one mind, they spoke with one voice. That Ori Mison, I knew that you weren't fair. And you know, when you talk about grassroots mobilization for any positive change and for anything meaningful, the traditional institutions are very key because they are the closest in terms of communal relation.
Mr. Vice President, let me say that we are happy to receive you and that to assure you and Mr. President that the good people of Ondo State are in support of the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
It was an exciting conversation with a pledge to support the local, subnational and the federal government towards prosperity. From Akure, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
Now let's bring you up to speed with other news. As the Accountant General of the Federation, Samsudeen Ogunjimi, says Nigeria is committed to promoting leadership and excellence in public financial management through sound accounting practices and transparent reporting systems across Africa. This was as Ogunjimi emerged Deputy Chairperson of the Executive Committee of the African Association of Accountants General at the association's AGM in Ghana. The AUG is a pan-African body comprising the offices of the Accountant Generals from across the continent, and Nigeria's election to this high-ranking position reflects the confidence and esteem with which the nation's commitment to fiscal transparency is regarded by peers across Africa. Now, barely a week after empowering displaced families in Benue State with a sum of 1 billion naira, Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has made another special intervention of 1 billion naira, this time for victims of flooding in Mokwa, Niger State. She made the donation on behalf of the Renewed Hope Initiative in Minna during a sympathy visit to the state. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo reports.
The fury of the flood versus residents of the market town of Mokwa in Niger State left more than 159 people dead, over 400 homes destroyed, and more than 3,000 persons displaced. 3 months after, residents and survivors are still faced with the harsh reality of rebuilding their lives. Today, they can sing and smile, rest assured in the knowledge that they are not alone in their pain and the journey of recovery.
As a mother, I share your pain and grief over this irreplaceable loss and devastation. I believe that we all can collectively overcome this tragedy and help these various communities heal.
The task of picking up the pieces and rebuilding is crucial, yet difficult. However, a lot can be done with a compassionate heart and an extended hand.
In support of the rebuilding efforts of the Niger State government, the Governing Council of the Renewed Hope Initiative is donating the sum of 1 billion naira that the governor already mentioned, along with relief materials including clothes, shoes, and the bags of 50 kg rice to the state, which is 2,000 bags of rice. The funds will be directed towards housing support and essential supplies to help displaced families get back on their feet, earning daily living, and having a better life.
So the empathy that you exhibit, the love you have shown, shows the kind of leadership we have as a country.
A separate intervention to support small and medium-scale businesses among women of the state saw the First Lady flagging off RHI Women Empowerment Program in conjunction with the Tony Elumelu Foundation.
I thank the Tony Elumelu Foundation, who donated 1 billion to the Renewed Hope Initiative to directly support 18,500 women across the nation. And the 500 women from each of the 36 states and FCT will be receiving 50,000 naira each to strengthen and recapitalize their existing small businesses.
To you, our dear beneficiaries, let it serve as a testament to what is possible when women are trusted and empowered.
Before departing the state, the First Lady paid a private visit to the homes of former heads of state, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida and General Abdusalam Abubakar. From Mina, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
And still on providing succor, the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has presented 500 million naira to the Adamawa State government to support and provide succor to the recent flood victims in Yola South local government area. Represented by the wife of the Vice President Nana Kashim Shettima, the First Lady, in a condolence message, described the disaster that claimed 29 lives as painful and devastating. Bilkisu Abubakar reports.
The devastating effect of flood disaster that recently ravaged 13 communities in Yola South local government area has obviously thrown the victims to difficulties of life. The Renew Hope Initiative responded not only with 500 million naira, also joined by Abdul Samad Rabiu Africa Initiative, ASR Africa, donated food and non-food items to the victims of the disaster and other vulnerable groups. The wife of the president, represented by Nana Shettima, wife of the vice president, sympathized with the victims, said the federal government is disturbed with the natural disaster.
I pray that Almighty Allah comfort the bereaved families, heal the injured, and strengthen all those affected. May God grant eternal rest to the soul of the departed souls.
I want to bring assurances of continued partnership, continued support, and through this partnership with RHI, we can assure you that we'll be steady partners.
Similarly, the wife of the president was flagged of the Women Economic Empowerment Program of Tony Elumelu Foundation for small-scale traders in Adamawa, where the beneficiaries receive 50,000 naira each to strengthen their business.
I thank the Tony Elumelu Foundation, who donated 1 billion naira to the Renewed Hope Initiative to directly support 18,500 women across the nation. 500 women from each state of the 36 states and the FCT will be receiving 50,000 naira each to strengthen and recapitalize their existing small businesses.
Deputy Governor Professor Kaletapo Farauta said the Adamawa State government is working out modalities for reconstruction of the affected communities, and the donation will surely cushion the effect of the disaster.
I want to thank you for raising the hopes of the common man and the common woman want to thank you for coming in today to do what parents do, because you are coming in as a mother of the nation and on behalf of the father of the nation. As a state, we are most grateful.
The federal and the Adamawa state government are working to mitigate the effect of the flood disaster. The donation of the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu and other partners has put a smile on the faces of the victims and the vulnerable groups in Adamawa. In Yola, Bilkisu Abubakar, NTA News.
We pause for some messages. The news continues in a moment. Do stay.
Beating heart of Owerri, business never sleeps. From sunrise to sundown, the wheels keep turning. And behind the scenes, vision meets action. Governor Hope Uzodimma's
better cleaning versus bleach and kills germs.
Oh, wow. You can now see that Harpic is better than
You're watching NTA Network News. Now, federal government has launched a revised National Employment Policy, NEP 2025. Minister of Labour and Employment, Mohammed Megari Dingyadi, says the policy offers a strategic framework to harness job opportunities in emerging sectors such as digital technology, the green and blue economy, and the creative industry. Joseph Osen reports.
The revised National Employment Policy, NEP 2025, is in response to the shifting trends in the global labor market driven by digital transformation and climate change. A shift demanding new jobs to stand the test of time. But beyond creating opportunities, the policy sets clear guidelines to ensure that these new jobs promote decent work.
Targeted strategies to address employment challenges across multiple dimensions. It empowers the National Employment Council and its secretariat to function as a robust intersectoral mechanism for monitoring, evaluation, and alignment of efforts.
To carry the laborers or the labor unions along, because with the renewable energy, a lot of people will change their work.
Varying conditions of employment dynamics, including unemployment, underemployment, skills mismatches and gaps exist in Nigeria, and it is believed that this policy will provide the platform and leeway for addressing majority of these labor market challenges.
A key feature of the reverse policy is the emphasis on need-based technical and vocational education, seen as a vital pathway to tackling unemployment and building a skilled workforce. In Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
The attention of the Ministry of Education has been drawn to media reports and libelous statements circulated by a self-styled and unknown group parading under the name Education Rights Activist Coalition, ERAC. The report, the ministry says, contains baseless and malicious allegations against the Executive Secretary of the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, Aisha Garba, accusing her of administrative misconduct and disregard for the rule of law, which are completely untrue, misleading, and clearly orchestrated by disgruntled individuals resisting the reform agenda currently transforming the basic education sector under her leadership. The ministry emphasizes that Aisha Garba is an internationally recognized education expert with over 24 years of experience, including 15 years at the World Bank. She has brought integrity, competence, and global best practices to UBEC, which aligns perfectly with the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The Federal Ministry of Education affirms its full confidence in Aisha Garba and her continued leadership at UBEC in order to deliver quality, safe, and inclusive basic education to Nigerian children while repositioning the education system for global competitiveness. Now, the federal government, through the National Agency for the Great Green Wall, aims to transform Nigeria into a major producer of date palms while simultaneously combating desert encroachment in 11 northern states. Director General, National Agency for the Great Green Wall, Sali Abubakar, stated this during the 2025 tree planting campaign in Yobe State as part of activities marking the agency's 10-year anniversary. Yunusa Suleiman reports.
The planting of that neem seedling by the Emir of Bade, supported by the Director General of the National Agency for the Great Green Wall, in Mai Malari community, Yusuf local government area of Yobe State, marks a turning point in the renewed commitment to combating desertification in the northern region. Over 5 million assorted seedlings of various species are being planted across the 11 northern states most vulnerable to desert encroachment and land degradation. The agency also plans to embark on a massive planting of 5 million assorted dead palm seedlings, which could transform communities in the 11 benefiting states into major producers of dead palm fruits in the country.
Choosing this site of my Malari as a very veritable example of desert encroachment, dry land, and degraded environment.
We are very much grateful to the Great Green Wall, not only the planting of today, but they have been collaborating with the states in all their activities over the years.
It's for our own good. That is whatever government does is for the community.
The initiative targets the planting of over 10 million seedlings of dead palms and other tree species to combat the impacts of climate change while economically empowering communities across the implementing states. In the Matru, Yunus Suleiman, NTA News.
Now, in a major step towards reversing desertification and promoting sustainable land management in Nigeria's arid regions, the National Agency for the Great Green Wall has launched an ambitious initiative to plant 50 million date palm trees across northern desert frontline states. Mohammed Askira reports.
Sustaining the momentum of National Agency for the Great Green Wall's contribution to environmental sustainability, the event drew key stakeholders and environmental advocates from across the country. Representing the Minister of Environment, Balarabe Abbas Lawal, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, joined the Director General of the National Agency for the Great Green Wall, Saleh Abubakar, alongside the Jigawa State Governor Umar Namadi, who was represented by his Deputy Aminu Usman Gumel. In his address, the Minister said the 50 million dead palm project is a landmark intervention that will enrich ecosystem, strengthen the resilience of local communities, and foster the restoration and conservation of natural resources and biodiversity. Through the AgriSat project, the governor's representative revealed that over 5,000 hectares of degraded land will be reclaimed across the state's 27 local government areas through strategic environmental practices, including shelter belt, grazing reserves, sand dune stabilization, and agroforestry.
Let us move forward together with renewed energy and a shared vision to expand the reach of the Great Green Wall and deepen its impact.
Together, we can put a path towards resilience and sustainability.
Let us teach our children that when they plant a tree, they are writing their names in the future of the planet.
The highlights of the anniversary celebration was a symbolic tree planting at the government house in Dutse, officially kickstarting the massive dead palm planting across the desert-prone states in northern Nigeria. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Time now to bring in Benny Adams for news trending in the world of business. Benny, what's happening? Winners or losers?
It's about winners, and it is agribusiness. To start with, Nigeria's agricultural sector is brimming with untapped potential. The African Development Bank is bringing the nation's change makers together to spark solutions, placing youth and women at the center of conversations on inclusive finance and agribusiness growth. Musa Abubakar has the details.
Inside the AFDB headquarters in Abuja, a powerful gathering is underway. From policymakers to financiers, development partners, and agri-entrepreneurs, the goal is clear: break down barriers and unlock finance for youth and women building businesses along Nigeria's agricultural value chain.
Let us leave this hall with a compact. 1. Finance that is easier to access.
Working with different actors to ensure that our farmers and other stakeholders are financially included in all sectors such as dairy, small ruminant, poultry, and rural trade.
Backed by the bank's high-five priorities, from feeding Africa to powering it, the dialogue reinforces AFDB's ongoing support for Nigeria's economic ambitions. including bold initiatives like iDice and the Youth Investment Bank, designed to turn talent into enterprise.
Lack of skills is the second most pressing challenge. Hence, empowering the youth and women is essential for their integration into the labor markets.
What we aim is to use government money, local government, state, federal government money to further de-risk what private financing will not do.
So we want to see more women, more youth in agriculture. It's part of the renewed agenda of Mr. President.
This year's dialogue isn't just talk. It's about co-creating innovative and actionable strategies with those most affected. With a participatory approach, the bank hopes to generate solutions that will break the cycle of limited finances and unleash the full potential of agribusiness in Nigeria. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
To revive the oil palm industry, Vice President Kashim Shettima says it is part of the renewed hope economic policies of the federal government to significantly harness the potential and creative prowess of young entrepreneurs to stimulate economic growth. Paul Omukago reports that this was at the 7th expanded MSMEs clinic in Akure, Ondo State.
The president is determined to revive the oil palm industry in this country. He has already given us the marching order that in the next cropping season, we should plant 100 million oil palm trees.
And away from agribusiness, let's take a look at the markets. At the end of today's trading session on the Nigerian exchange, investors gained 458.43 billion naira as market capitalization rose to 91.61 trillion naira. This is as a total of 1.027 billion shares in 38,922 deals, corresponding to a market value of 22.8 were traded. Today's data shows 27% improvement in volume, 17% improvement in turnover, and 8% improvement in deals. And on the aggregate, 127 listed equities participated in trading, ending with 59 gainers and 22 losers. This is it on business at this time. And it's time to take a break and go to Lagos, where Adiola Komi Akere is waiting for the rest of the news. Adiola, you can take it from here. Adiola, you can take it from me.
Thank you, Benny. To expand the nation's social security net, regular strategic reforms to provide a robust social security is of utmost importance. Minister of Labour and Employment, Mohammed Meigari Dengiadi, stated this at a two-day retreat for the Joint Committee on Employment, Labour and Productivity and other stakeholders in Lagos. Larry Belay completes the report.
As ITF, probably by now I will have gone. You know, it's very difficult to maintain and sustain this kind of situation. But
Femi Ademola had a spinal cord injury in a road accident. NSITF has been a safety net for this Nigerian and his family. This is what this program aims to mainstream through initiation of ideas that set agenda for change, social policy, economic empowerment, and poverty alleviation through social security systems for Nigerian workers.
What we are doing is a demonstration of that unity between the executive and legislature, and we on the government side are coming together to discuss how to improve in areas of collaboration.
Bringing in bills that will help to make the social security of Nigerians more advantageous.
One of the charge that I gave the National Assembly, being representatives of the people at the grassroots level, is for us to collaborate, think strategically as to how we can improve that compliance at the local government level, at the state level, for the benefit of Nigerian workers.
Discuss at the retreat include expanding the social security net, addressing workplace safety, and sustainable employee scheme. In Lagos, Larry Pilayi, NTA News.
A 44-year-old man, Wasiu Akinwande, also known as Olori Esho, has been remanded in Kirikiri Correctional Center by an Ikeja Magistrate Court in Ogba, Lagos State over allegations of multiple killings. Diana Jalo reports that Magistrate Mobolaji Tanimola gave the order for the remand of a suspect for the period of 30 days pending legal advice from the Office of the Directorate of Public Prosecutions.
The suspect, Wasiu Akinwande, was arraigned on 11-count charge bordering on alleged conspiracy, murder, attempted murder, illegal possession of poisonous dagger, grievous bodily harm, threat to life, and possession of other arms. Prosecution counsel, Nusa Uhuaho, told court that the defendant and others still at large allegedly committed the offenses between December 9, 2010 and April 5, 2015 at different locations within Lagos State. Among the victims was a 9-year-old girl who the suspect and others allegedly killed in 2010 while she was running an errand. The police also alleged that the suspect, while in possession of an unlawful AK-47 rifle, allegedly shot and killed 30-year-old Yusuf Bolakale, a tricycle rider, and his 23-year-old friend. The defendant also allegedly killed 6 others during a violent clash between rival factions at the Ijaraba area of Lagos. Olori Esho was said to have fled to the Alagbado axis of Ogun State, where he was eventually apprehended by the police. Chief Magistrate Mobolaji Tanimola of Samia Ilori has fixed September 4, 2025 for hearing of the case. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
And those are the reports from Lagos. The network news will continue with Jummai in Abuja after this time out.
Reserve seats for women, amplifying women's voices. Join us this week on NTA Tuesday Live as we dive into the special seat bill. What does it mean for the everyday Nigerian woman? How can it shape policies, drive change, and inspire future generations? Tune in at 10:30 p.m. for an informative, educative, and incisive discussion. Don't miss it.
You're welcome back. The governing All Progressives Congress APC says it is developing a world-class information and technology hub where membership information would be processed ahead of future elections. The national chairman of the party, Professor Nantewe Ilwada, was speaking when he received the leadership of the Progressive Governors Forum at the National Secretariat. Political correspondent Abubakar Akwanga reports.
The governing All Progressives Congress has remained consistent in driving an automated system within the operational organ of the party with a reliable database for all its members nationwide as top-notch. Now it is time to inspect some critical infrastructure around the building, and spotlight was on the ICT hub where President Tinubu's directive on e-membership registration will be coordinated and delivered.
We want to ensure that we deepen technology. We ensure that we lead in all respect, in all ramifications. These are what we are doing. It will help us in research, it will help us in deepening technology, it will help us in relationship, in providing support for our members also at all levels.
We were highly impressed with what we saw, and also confident that any moment from now, our e-registration exercise will start in full force.
The party chieftains said the allocation of a new site for the building of a state-of-the-art edifice to serve as the party's national secretariat is in the offing, and affirmed the APC remained the party to beat in all future elections. In Abuja, Abubakar Akwanga, NTA News.
From politics to works, as the Minister of State for Works, Bello Mohammed Gourenyo, charges social media influencers to leverage on the digital platforms for constructive engagement and to use the platforms to articulate achievements recorded through President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, as well as the 9-point SMART agenda of Governor Ahmed Aliyu. This was at a forum for new media influencers in Sokoto State. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa reports.
Launching the training, Minister of State for Works Bello Mohammed Gourenyo
described the new media as a medium to promote impacts of infrastructural and human capital development drives of the federal government, which have transformed lives of millions of Nigerians.
Social media has become a very veritable tool, and so we cannot help it than to really key into the global arena. And by doing this, we'll be able to put on the map the achievement of His Excellency, Mr. President.
Governor Ahmed Aliyu Sokoto commended the foresight of the minister for the laudable initiative. Director General on Media and Publicity, Abubakar Bawa, and Special Advisor to the Sokoto State Governor on Economic Matters, Bashir Mohammed Achida, reminded the participants to use the medium in projecting activities of the government. Coordinator of the program, Aminu Faruk, underscores the objective of the training towards enhancing capacity of the social media influencers. A paper was presented by the Director General Strategic Communication and Event Management, Nasarawa State, Dr. Faruk Ulemani, titled Fake News as it Dominates Social Media Influencers. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nawaba, NTA News.
On talking security matters, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetakun, has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to a merit-based reform of the Nigeria Police Force. Francis Form reports that the IGP issued a stern warning to critics and detractors of the ongoing reforms, especially those questioning the credibility of the new promotion standards for officers who have distinguished themselves.
CSP Shaba Aliu, Police Officer of the Year 2023, and SP Santomi Obi, Police Officer of the Year 2024, were decorated with their newly approved ranks in a ceremony that underscored professionalism and courage.
You know, to whom much is given, much is expected.
CSP Shaba led tactical operations that neutralized a notorious gang of armed robbers linked to a string of violent crimes, including kidnapping and murder, across Delta and Bayelsa states. SPOB spearheaded an operation in Rumokpali, Rivers State, which led to the arrest of suspects involved in organ harvesting. Despite being offered a $17,000 bribe, he refused, a decision hailed as a benchmark for integrity. Reacting to social media campaigns aimed at discrediting the force's promotion process, IGP Egbetakun declared that the lies of detractors will not derail the reforms.
Your noise will not drown our resolve, and your provocations, if sustained, will be met with lawful consequences. The Nigerian Police Force is moving forward, with or without your approval.
To the honorees, the IGP charged them to demonstrate greater responsibility. Francis Form, NTA News.
Still on security, the federal government has escalated security operations nationwide. Will call for Nigerians to always share credible and verified intelligence to security agencies for a quicker response to insecurity in the country. This was part of views expressed at a media briefing on security situation in the country and the instance of the National Orientation Agency, NOA. Kenneth Nanim tells us more.
The National Orientation Agency has been interfacing with security agencies on a monthly basis to be well acquainted through strategies and synergy required for kinetic and non-kinetic operations. The essence of the partnership is also to collate adequate data and ensure that information available to the public is adequate, correct, verifiable, and timely.
Within the same period, 1,572 NDLEA raids occurred. 2.9 million kilograms of narcotics were seized. 720 conflicts resolved by the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. 2,838 road fatalities were recorded by the Federal Road Safety Corps. Security does not start in a battlefield. It begins in our homes. Let us protect what is ours.
Expanding humanitarian and civic engagement responses, as well as enhancing institutional accountability and international standing, are other areas that update is being provided. The NOA and security agencies are urging Nigerians to support whistleblowing and anti-corruption platforms. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Now, the federal government is taking a bold step to reclaim the nation's forest from terrorists, bandits, and other criminals through the operations of National Forest Guard Initiative. To this end, over 2,000 personnel from the Northeast recently graduated from an intensive 3-day training program in Gombe. Abbas Mekano reports.
The Nigerian government has launched a nationwide recruitment drive for armed forest guards to combat insecurity and criminal activities in the country's vast forest reserves. The initiative aims to protect over 1,000 forests from illegal logging, banditry, and other threats. Thousands of young Nigerians have been recruited into the Forest Guard unit, providing them with a chance to build a stable career while protecting the nation's environment.
Give us a series of training and lectures, and I believe our members will imbibe and inculcate those lectures and training.
Training session took place simultaneously across all 6 geopolitical zones and the Federal Capital Territory, highlighting the government's commitment to securing the forests.
We are well prepared, very, very well prepared. We are ready. If they like, they can call us now.
The best weapon we have is afforestation. So this is where the NFSS will play a very important role in helping us sustain, preserve, and protect our forests.
So we are from the grassroots. This initiative, a lot of youth will have employment, and they will still help our security agencies to give a report that can be of help.
The recruitment process is ongoing, with most states expected to launch their own drives soon. In Gombe, Abbas Mekano, NTA News.
We'll take another break. We'll be right back.
Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the worrisome increase in the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The FSRCC and NBC hereby advises the general public to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Make sure to verify the licensing status of such companies and schemes on this website. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call Let's work together to uphold the integrity of Nigeria's financial system. Announcer, FSRCC.
Are you ready? Join us on Reshaping Democracy, a groundbreaking program on the network service of the NTA, where citizens get the chance to ask ministers, heads of ministerial departments, agencies, and other top government officials questions on their performance and delivery of mandates. With no sector of limits, conversations build around bridging communication gaps for feedback and effect as our guests engage with the people they serve.
How does ND foster partnerships with organizations, government agencies, NGOs, among others?
As our leaders give account to citizens' inquiries on good governance, tune in to Reshaping Democracy, a creative concept coming up every Tuesday evening at 10:05 p.m.
This is Reshaping Democracy.
For rejoining us. Zenith Bank PLC has once again reaffirmed its position as a leading force in the development of women's basketball in Nigeria. Celebrating the historic triumph of the national women's team, the Tigers, with a generous donation of 200 million naira. Chief Executive Officer Dame Adiora Umeoji said the gesture was a recognition of the team's remarkable achievement in clinching a fifth consecutive FIBA Afro Basket title. Bright Abuja reports.
It was a day of glitz, pride and celebration as Africa's most successful women's basketball team, Nigerians the Tigers, were honored by Zenith Bank PLC for achieving what no other team on the continent has ever done. 5 consecutive FIBA Women's Afro Basket titles. To commemorate the historic achievement, Zenith Bank PLC presented a 200 million naira check to the team, with 10 million naira earmarked for each of the players. Chief Executive Officer Zenith Bank PLC, Dame Adora Omeoji, states that the gesture marks yet another show of faith in Zenith Bank's long-standing commitment to women's basketball, having been title sponsors of the Women's Basketball League for nearly 2 decades.
I'd like to acknowledge and thank our visionary founder and chairman, Dr. Jummai CFR, for his foresight in initiating this sponsorship. These and many others are the legacies that continue to drive our unyielding support and commitment to talent development, youth and women empowerment.
Team captain Ami Okonkwo and coach of the team Reina Wakama say they are grateful for the recognition and reward, and it will motivate them to keep pushing boundaries and making Nigeria proud.
On behalf of the D Tigers, we are so grateful to the bank for hosting us here today. Zenith Bank is a standard, so thank you so much. We appreciate the director and all of the people here today that came to support us.
We have never seen anybody reward the hard work and the dedication of the Tigers in this way.
Beyond the celebrations, the event served as a powerful reminder that when women are supported, they soar. As the reigning queens of African basketball, the Tigers continued to write their names in history, and with partners like Zenith Bank backing them, the sky is just the starting point. In Abuja, Bright Ebuchu, NTA News.
Indeed, when women are supported, they soar. And for more on sports, let's join Bade Adele. The loss today to Senegal sort of dampened the euphoria of all these wins.
Not the best of results, Jummai. All right, welcome to sports. Let's begin with the not too impressive news as Nigeria fell 1-0 to Senegal in their opening Group D clash of the 2024 African Nations Championship, known as CHAN, at the Aman Stadium in Zanzibar on Tuesday. The match was tightly contested until the 75th minute, when a defensive lapse proved costly for Nigeria as Mukhtar Koita pounced on a loose ball at the edge of the box, beating goalkeeper Mustafa Lawal before laying it off for Gomis to slot into an empty net, giving Senegal the lead and ultimately all 3 points. The defeat marks a disappointing start for the Super Eagles Team B, who now face mounting pressure to bounce back in their second group match against Sudan on the 12th of August. Now to basketball. The game is set to experience a rapid growth in Nigeria, with Giants of Africa, a basketball program co-founded by Masai Ujiri, set to return to Nigeria. During a courtesy call on the general manager NTA Sports, Kayode Adeniyi in Abuja, the coordinator in Nigeria, Michael Akubo, revealed that the program, which uses basketball to empower African youth, will involve building new basketball courts and hosting basketball camps and festivals. He also seized the opportunity to praise President Tinubu's gesture to the victorious State Tigress of Nigeria.
For honoring our girls and rewarding them handsomely, and it's a welcome development, and we hope that the government can keep it up. And for us, Giants of Africa, it's a part and parcel of what we are working towards, to ensure that our young men and women are gainfully engaged, towards the building of our.
For the sports update, veteran journalist Stanley Wasinda Michelia has passed on in Maiduguri, Borno State at the age of 66. He was among pioneer staff of NTA Maiduguri, employed in the late 1970s, and while he was in service, he mentored several generations of NTA personnel. His remains will be buried in Maiduguri on Thursday, 7th August 2025, after a funeral service at the EYN LCC Church, while final prayer comes up after interment at his residence, Bolo area, Maiduguri. Late Stanley Michelia left behind a wife, Mrs. Dapaya Michelia, brothers and sisters. That's Network News for tonight. Thanks so much for watching. I am Jummai Yusuf.
So piece together your time wisely.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
This is the network service of the NTA.